Hello, this is Randy Pfeiffer of Eldorado Software. Today's Third Planet tutorial will show you how to get started with your track plan by designing the outline of the room or an existing table for your layout. In this case, a drawing of an existing table was submitted by a customer, brought into Third Planet, positioned and resized so that its grid aligns well with the Third Planet grid. Let's start by drawing a line at the upper left that's 204 inches long as called for in the drawing. We use the Shift key to keep the line in east-west alignment while drawing it, and then set its length to exactly 204 inches. Since everything in the drawing will wheel off of this line, let's make sure it's well aligned. Good, it is. Let's draw the 48-inch line next. It's often good to draw a line just by dragging a copy. If you hold the Control key down while dragging an image, you'll get a copy of the original object positioned where you release the mouse. Rotating it twice, I now hold the Alt key down while selecting it to select at the nearest endpoint, and keep the Alt key held depressed while aligning it. This aligns it to the nearest endpoint of the positioning object. We can now change its length to be 48 inches as called for in the drawing. This line is used in several locations, so we will control drag copies of a line to places where it can be useful. Here's a location where a 24-inch line is needed, and that is also needed elsewhere in the drawing, so we will make a couple copies of that to speed things up. In this case, the length should be 16 inches. Let's move again to the major horizontal lines. Control drag a copy of this, set its length to 156, and Alt align it to an existing line. We'll do the same here and drag a copy of this here using the Control key. This line is to be 132 inches in length, and now it is properly positioned with the right dimensions. Let's move to the upper right now. Using the Alt key to align, we'll get that line properly positioned and increase its length to 121 inches. Next, the 16-inch long line is aligned. This line is aligned and changed to 96 inches. Continuing around the bottom, we've made a lot of progress in this drawing. Let's now control drag a copy of this and set its length to 122 inches. Well, that's what the drawing calls for, but it doesn't look quite right. We'll need to verify this measurement later. For now, let's try 112. That looks pretty good. Positioning the line, we now draw the final connecting lines, diagonal lines, from here to here and from here to here. We're now done with the outline, but we note a couple of discrepancies. First, in the lower right, it looks like the 96-inch dimension should be a bit longer, and perhaps the 24-inch dimension isn't quite right. That's something we want to go back and verify, as well as looking into this, where the 48-inch line isn't quite long enough to match the drawing. Now these could be discrepancies in the hand-drawn drawing, or it could have been an error in measurement. The time to resolve them is now before you move on with your track plan. You can now bring up the Layer Enable dialog and freeze the room and activate the main layer. We'll move the room down, and now those lines are no longer able to be selected and provide a firm foundation for doing the rest of the track plan. I hope this has gotten you on your way in your first track plan. Thank you for watching.